Abiding, pining, imbibing, praying, puking, bawling. All the necessaries banished by electric light. Two, Yahweh brooded o'er the waters. The old gal got her chicks in a row. Thus the stars were hatched. Three, climb to our proper dark. Four, incubation of the poem, as with any disease, takes patience, something poets and patience aren't known for. 5, brooding, blank, brooding, Six, fire helps. Seven, drink down fire. Breathe in fire. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Remember to breathe. Breathe to remember. Eight, music helps. Or a tune in your head. Best the tune that wakes you out of a sound sleep and sets you dancing after the red rose-bordered hem. Upstream, peacefully and silently, and peace filled the air, the abiding trees, peace filled the river, and the effortlessly gliding snake. We watched, unmoving, as the reptile approached, and peace flowed through us like the snake, effortless and unhurried. A water snake, steady in the wavering current, weaving unerringly towards us as veins twist unerringly through the body's tissues towards their destination, the heart. That diamondback rattlesnake who spoke to me when I was about to pitch my tent on it. Later that same evening, 1975, on North Padre Island, when a stranger gave me peyote. That same night on Padre Island, when the stars exploded and I wandered lost in dunes, lost in ruins, guided in friendship by a stranger and a rattlesnake. That fuzzy yellow caterpillar scurrying past me on the picnic table right now. That same yellow caterpillar climbing over my laptop. That afternoon long ago when strangers Bonnie and Sebastian gave me organic mescaline for free because it was my first time, and the sun was a Roman candle behind Washington's obelisk. This afternoon, as Michael Zernecki has heart surgery, and there will be no poetry on Wheeler Hill this Sunday, and I won't get to see Carolyn and Chapin and Grayson and my other friends, including Susan Deercloud, who told me recently I should pop some peyote buttons and stop going so Western male when I'm quoting Aristotle and Rice. This moment when I can't stop laughing at my new friend, the intrepid caterpillar climbing to the top of the laptop Matterhorn. The next moment, when I think of so many Americans dying because of poor health care and ridiculous politics and stop laughing. This next moment when I'm distracted by the rights of the lawnmower and decide to go inside. This next moment when I think that I really should be discussing Bilowitz's fascicle. This next moment, or a few moments later, or honestly, when I open the book, the painted face and body of the masked Cora dancer in Semana Santa Peyote Ritual 1970, the fierce teeth of his animal headdress, the altar boy solemnity of the Huichol Peyotera, Jalisco, Mexico, 1971. The photo negative of La Condone woman emitting shamanic power that closes the book. The book opens at random to jaguars did not stalk us, even during their appointed rounds. The book opens by Virgilian Lot and a blank page. Let's try that again. The book opens at the same page as before. So we traveled ever more slowly. The jungle grew thicker and darker. The sky never showed through it all. The stars were not seen. The poem becomes more impenetrable, the moment more precarious, the aleatory more fraudulent, the caterpillar more sinister than Alice's, more like Blake's. I said to the worm, thou art my mother and my sister. And her dreams of a high, dead desert, rocky valley with a dead lake in the center. Crocodiles filled the lake. The crocodiles were hungry, omnivorous, but not threatening, he says. And a few lines down, the feeling was that I would inevitably be next to sustain their untiring, vigilant hunger. Last Sunday morning, my old cat fell off the deck railing, landed in the garden 15 feet below, without a scratch, but with a look of surprise. Walking up the hill with that unhurried amplitude, my friend Larry Bell says, characterizes the aging. accompanied by CK, playing beat and string bass, hi-hat cymbals, barrel drum, finger piano, oriental gongs, rattles, and fury. Recorded live in Buffalo Nietzsche's 5/20/1984 and Theater Log 3/13/1985, Vox Audio Recordings, Bruce Holzapfel, 2009. East River Tunnel into the stone, along winding mountain roads, gas away, all. Birch River, the return of Hecate, better than meeting sad silicon ghosts at Lawley Bridge, Burnsville's burning bridge, Befruist, Mother Jones standing guard above Painted Creek, Cabin Creek, Lost Creek, home of John Henry and the Dogon Namos, Bridgeport, where I waved to Casey Jones. Tectonic notes shift, syntactic plates collide, wary that a word tsunami might sweep you over the unfigural edge, to the end of this side indeed. But you go with it, and around it, and through it, all the way to Pleasant Valley and Fairmont, resting in Pitt's icy berg, seeking magic kernels, laetrile for the soul cancer-eating Gaia. God of the gaps, Barzak, Monk's Rest, Cage of Silences, Jack playing piano at post-trial party while Diz nods approvingly. Pollock's atomic interstices, bright space within to be lived in, Charlie's primo-praxial path bands, interval between acceleration and deceleration. Metal to the pedal, pause that reformats the world, the rekindling of the planet, nothing less than beginning the other side. femme fatale, purple loosestrife, you Helen of the wetlands, you loose 1,000 ecologists to do battle with your radiant form. Enraged as they are engaged by your bewitching eye and royal diadem. They wish to seize you by your svelte stalk, rip limb from root, apply the hot tongs, put you to the rack, force you to confess an alien impostor, not nature's queen of the eastern woodlands, but a bloody Mary invader. Stake your naked loveliness atop the pyre of shame. But you persist and expand your realm, conspiring with the sun to ignite the marshes by your art. The spirit of cooking. Three tastes in Mrs. John's craft. Three aromas in Mrs. John's kitchen. Three weapons in Mrs. John's arsenal. Fresh gem as delicately sweet shrimp. Fragrant Jean as garlic and Szechuan peppers. Rich Nong as ham cooked in dark anise sauce. Fresh bean curd, fragrant ginger, rich hoisin sauce. A lover fresh from the shower, a lover fragrant with sandalwood, a lover rich with love's sweat. A poem fresh as spring roll, a poem fragrant as pepper paste, a poem rich as duck's blood. Combine the three, how you will, how you know how. The last peach of summer. Eating the last peach of summer in my fridge since before the frost. Not quite Julian. Some bitterness in the darkened flesh, a funky foreboding. But mostly, still light, still sweet, golden record of sunlight, a fossil fuel seeping out of the Paleozoic to bubble its juices all over me. A line of 20 geese as I write this. Tear with fingers, rough chunks placed on bed of toasted oats and nuts, smothered in yogurt. Oh boy! Almost like being on holiday on the veranda of some temperate clime a state of high privilege, this unemployment. I wrote that a number of years ago when I was in between positions, as they like to say. 5. I'm being rocked in my cradle. My father's driving the highways and byways of Connecticut for the American Tobacco Company. Now, 50 years later, pluck music from my shoulder, pluck sleep from the devil's own sea, pluck fiddle bones playing the old, cold wind and rain. Pluck fish from the evening's paper, pluck dreams from tomorrow's window, pluck and pluck and pluck again. Sleep fiddle, a kiss from your cold fish lips is all I crave. Put your queer shoulder to the window, my plucky lad, a fish for your troubles, a kiss for your brow. Sleep, sleep, my wandering fiddle, sleep below her window. Soldier on, you fishy stiff lip. Soldier on, you mustachioed fiddler, you fish peddler of dreams at any maid's window. Pluck on. Pulse liar. Pulse liar, fluttering lashes, heartbeat arpeggios, so cold, so cold. I'm just your human beatbox. Human beatbox, it's just a Botox brunch. Beatbox, 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 pulse liar. Pulse flyer, silver surfing, safari, Mobius striptease. Perplexing poultry, do the loop-de-loop Lindy waltz. Looby-loo, skiddly-doo, thuggin' and fugazis. Beatbox, 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 beatbox. Pulse flyer. Pulse sire, Sappho fugue, Dido's pyre. We'll go, your window, Once we were permitted to return to the bower. Beatbox, 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 pulse sire. Pulse lyre. Sadakichi's color organ, climbing geonomic ladder, take it higher, evolutionary choir. Wrestling, orcs, angel, enter the bardic. Beatbox, 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 all art, beatbox, 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 dance, beatbox, 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 music, beatbox, 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 poetry, beatbox, 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 painting, beatbox, 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 prehistoric cave, beatbox. Last poem of this set will be of the algorithm. Can we still hear any beat but the 01, 01, 01, 01, 01, 01, 01, 01, 01, 01, 01, 01, 01, 01 to infinity, damnable disco drum machine lurking behind Mozart CD, Chaplin DVD, public TV, political POV. Now that we're all slaves of the algorithm, can we still hear any beat but the 01, 01, 01, 01, 01, 01, 01, 01, 01, 01, 01 to infinity, damnable disco drum machine lurking behind Mozart CD, Chaplin DVD, public TV, political POV. Now that we're all slaves of the algorithm, can we still hear any beat but the 01, 01, 01, 01, 01, 01, 01, 01 on to infinity, damnable disco drum machine lurking behind Mozart CD, Chaplin DVD, public TV, political POV. Don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. Seattle institution, the Blue Moon Cafe. Louis Sullivan's gone, like Tim Leary, like Pigpen, Ginsberg poem on the wall, the photos, the music, Tom Robbins contest. There's an opium den in the cellar of the kindergarten. There's a blue monstrous flower in the center of the circumference, which is nowhere, and the apricots shaking, whose pit is everywhere, cure and poison. Pittsburgh. Poets who never publish. Rolls of rotting paper in drawers and closets and under sinks. Bathtubs full of manuscripts. Notebooks available only to St. Peter. Here's for those who do but never leave their mountain hovels. Just send their poems out to friends who edit little magazines, regular as epistles from the Unabomber. Here's for all those poets who never attend cocktail parties because they can't remember names very well, and the arts patronesses in their low-cut gowns make them nervous. Here's for the Vietnam vet poet skulking in the back of the hall. Here's for the tenured beat poet playing jazz real loud in his office. Or the one who shouts, "Go away," when students nod. Or the one who shows up for his first class 10 minutes late because he was rehearsing a dance and poetry thing on Village Gate. Or the one who sends poison pen emails to administrators at midnight. Or the brilliant one barred from teaching by the dead hand of Moriarty. Or the one tapping away to the night on his manual typewriter, hoping to get it all down, intent made clear before lymphoma silences him. And here's for the young poet who freaks out on acid and is soothed by a famous shamanic poetess, and years later gets a transsexual operation to become Tiresias. And here's for the gifted millionaire who gives it all away to starving musicians to free his angel. And the one who blows a fortune on heroin. And the one who plays William Tell unsuccessfully. And the one who climbs the devil tree and can't get down. And here's for the poet who gives up poetry to follow the false gods of deconstruction. He's one of my colleagues. And here's for the poet who wanders the many rooms of his father's mansion but can't find an exit. And here's for the poet who gets tossed out of the art gallery reception for having sex in the John. And here's for the poet who really thinks liberation means he can go anywhere without clothes, radiant in the checkout aisle. And here's for the poet who hangs herself on Halloween when sleep won't come any other way. And here's for the poets who watch the aurora borealis because someone had a craving for a cigarette and so left the party and so noticed there's a whole other universe out there. And so got them all to drive drunkenly out to the cornfields of Michigan to watch. And here's for the poet who tore up my bathroom in a rage and my wife had to cuff him and throw him out into the night where there was much wailing and gnashing of teeth. And here's for the poet who got his life back at 50 with his mother dead, his father dead, his relatives all dead. But they left him with a handsome monthly stipend. And he'll be attending Black Memorial. And here's for the poets who blow their brains out, or worse, let their gray matter slowly seep into 10,000 composition papers along with the red of their pens. And here's for all the poets who wait their turn interminably until the featured poet finishes expounding. And they might get a few moments at the open mic. They might if the line's not too long. And if everybody obeys the time rule. And if they can be heard over the cappuccino machine and the sound of the cash register. And here's for the poets who wish they were musicians so they could get laid. And here's for the poets who wish they were artists so they could get paid. And here's for, I don't know where dancers fit into this. And here's for the poets who wish they weren't academics. And here's for the poets who wish they'd studied Greek so they could read Sappho in the original. And here's for the poets who wish they were priests so they could cast out demons. And here's for the poets who wish their chants could really stop the war instantly. And here's for all the poets and musicians and dancers and painters. And here comes everybody.